as an artist here on YT YouTube or on my TikToks, Deandra Socks, my web series. Yeah, I'm just plugging myself really. I do a lot of music interviews and film reviews, and today's film review is on Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. Yeah! And we are going to be doing some plucking with my rusty pliers. I've had these for years because I was a jewelry maker. And some, I want to say scraping. I want to say plucking and scraping through time, or your relationship with time, because that's what the Dial of Destiny is all about. Um, and this is like the Sacred Heart, and it's all about filling yourself with the fire of love and life and protection. And if there's one person who does that, it's Indiana Jones. So let's begin. Um, this movie has gotten a lot of like bad reviews, I think. For one, it's better than Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of Skulls or Crystal Skulls. That was just a mess. Um, I wouldn't say it's one of. I'm going a little too fast. Let's slow it down. I wouldn't say it's one of the best Indiana Jones. I would say it comes in fourth, and that's because the three original ones are classics, right? Um, and they were filmed in the space where Harrison Ford was at his peak Indiana, right? But I think that's kind of the point of this film, and it's not without irony that a lot of recent films, bigger films like The Flash, Everything Everywhere All at Once, Multiverse of Madness, they all touch upon the theme of time and how we relate to time, how we feel about time. And it's kind of, as I'm saying that, I'm like, that feels like a very post 2020, post pandemic theme, because I've had people who are like celebrating their birthdays and they like take out 3 years because we lost 3 years of our life. Where we did nothing, and we had to kind of sit on the fact that maybe we've always been doing nothing. And you would think that if there is one person that should not feel that way, it is Indiana Jones. And that's exactly how he feels. We find Indiana Jones kind of like retired in New York City and kind of living this life of did I really do my best? It's very similar to, if you've seen my review of Secret Invasion, kind of this soldier who realized they fought war after war for their country and they didn't actually like live in it. They didn't have a life in their country. It felt like they're running to their family and friends. And yeah, they're a legend, but you know, legends die too, and they legends go to the bathroom and they walk lonely on the streets of New York. You know, like when you really think about the terminology of legend, I'm a legend to you, but who am I to me? And it's so fascinating and tragic and lovely to see a character as big as Indiana Jones going through this very vulnerable, very natural existential crisis. I don't think anybody ages gracefully. I think we learn to be graceful about it through time. The older we get, you know, we breathe acceptance. We learn acceptance. But I think, if I can imagine, you know, being in my 70s and like looking back in my life, knowing, you know, what do you have, a good 10, 20 years. Did I really live it up? Did I do my most? Did I enjoy my youth? What people can say something about my life, but what can I say? And that's his very crisis. Enter Phoebe Waller-Bridge, who, I hope I didn't butcher that. Um, is it Phoebe Waller-Bridge? Or is it, I've confused her name for like Phoebe Bridgers. There are too many Phoebes and Bridges, honestly, in this industry. Too many Chris's. Um, she comes in as Indy's goddaughter, Helena Shaw. Her father's been disappeared because, again, those damn Nazis always stealing magical artifacts. They stole the Dial of Destiny, which was created by Archimedes, and they really think that it could bend time and they could go back to World War II where Hitler was popping and really like save the day. And, you know, if there's one thing that we love about Indiana Jones, he's going to punch some Nazis and be terrified of snakes and look cool. And that's a thing, you know, Harrison Ford is just the coolest man ever to exist. Like he just, I think what we love about Indiana Jones and a lot of the characters, um, from that Harrison Ford has done, like Han Solo, what we love about them is that they just emanate a certain kind of coolness to them, even when they're stressed, even when they're feeling vulnerable, even when they're in danger. You know, they just have this coolness and this calmness and this casualness that is both relatable and completely remarkable. Like I will never be that cool swimming with eels, you know. Note to self. Um, and or cool freaking out rather. Um, I think that's what I really loved about this film. It's a goodbye because obviously he's not going to be Indiana Jones again. He has said it in the same way he said goodbye to Han Solo. He's saying goodbye to Indiana Jones, who he liked better, and it definitely shows. Um, there's a funness and a respect he has for Indiana Jones as a character, like a real love and tenderness. And I think that's what saves the movie. This movie was not directed by Steven Spielberg, and I think that's why a lot of people didn't like it or kind of thought it was doomed to fail. But you know, if you watch, you know, Kingdom of the Hidden Scrolls, Crystal Skull, I don't even know what that was. I ignore it. That one was not that great. So I believe the director's name is like Joe Mangold. He directed Logan, which is an excellent, excellent film. So he has a history of taking like major franchises and breaking them down into some nuanced, vulnerable perspective on themes like aging. And I think the film is really good. It just rides so much on the fact that you love Indiana Jones and you love anything that Indiana Jones does. That you're kind of, it could be a little slow. The plot could be like a little bit of a copy paste. Okay, the Nazis stole another artifact. Time to punch them out. I think that if the movie thrives, you know, when with like typical Indiana Jones isms, you know, when he's just freaking out or being like the wittiest guy in danger. It thrives because of him, and I think it would have thrived even more if the plot had been a little bit quicker, a little bit cleaner, and they kind of invested more in Phoebe Waller-Bridge role as Helena Shaw. I think she's hilarious. I think compared to Shia LaBeouf's Mutt, who was supposed to be like Indiana Jones' long lost son, I think she gives a spark and energy and personality to for Indy to bounce off of. I think Mutt was just like, "You're my dad. Let me follow you." Like they try to play like, "Look at me being rebellious, like my dad," and it's kind of it just didn't work out because like Indiana Jones wasn't rebellious. He was adventurous, and he was cool, and it was just this weird like, "Why are you here?" Honestly. Um, Whereas for Phoebe Waller-Bridge's Helena Shaw, what I loved about her is that she's really smart, she's really funny, she's really bold, she's really courageous, she's kicking ass exactly like Indy. Like she matched him in terms of energy, even if they were a different personality. And he needed that in terms of, you know, Crystal Skull. He needed, and he's always gotten that in other movies, especially in terms of female characters. He always is matched with a female character that will 100% kick his butt. And there was a sense of in Crystal Skull that wasn't exactly there, even if his ex was back. And here you feel like this is a guy who's kind of guiding this youthful woman on how to take up their place in this world as an adventurer, as an archaeologist, as somebody who's combating the forces of evil, magically so, without most of the world even knowing. And I didn't get the sense that we're gonna have like Helena Shaw spin-offs, although I wouldn't be surprised. It is Hollywood. It loves to remake and spin like anybody else. Um, but I'm also okay if we don't. You know, I liked her character. I think there's more to her, but I also felt like, okay, bye Indy. You know, like bye to this world. Bye, because you feel like Harrison is the world of Indiana Jones. And you feel in every move he makes that he's saying goodbye. This isn't just about retirement. This isn't about an old man dealing with aging. This is about a spirit kind of letting go of this world. And it brings a nuance to aging too, because, listen, I have some Scorpio placements. And I'm just using that as an example. Scorpio is the symbol of death, and death is the symbol of transformation. And part of the pain of being a Scorpio is that, like, sometimes you could feel you're going to die 30 million times in one body. You're going to learn so many much, and you're going to go through so many changes. And in some way, that's what aging is. You talk to people who are older, and they're like, I don't know how the hell I'm like 45. Like, when did I get here? I was 18 last week. Time just flies, and you go through so many things, and your body gets tired, and your spirit gets a little bit low, and you just ask yourself, did I live the way I wanted? Did I do what I want? Yes, I had adventures. Yes, I helped people. But did I do for me what I dreamed? And it was really sad and sweet to see a character that embodies fearlessness to people, and hope and love and fun and boldness kind of go through something that is just so natural. Just such a freaking natural question. Did I do for me what I wanted? And I hope you do. So I'm just going to give you the final. I hope you do. I hope that you have peace and acceptance with how your life has gone and is going, and know that peace and acceptance are motivators. If you're okay with how your life is going, okay, you can be okay enough to make it better. You know, I am at peace with what happened, and that could be motivating to make what I want to happen happen. So check out Deandra Reviews It All, and feel free to follow and subscribe.